anchor Craig Day. We're on the scene of breaking news this afternoon. A police pursuit and search for a suspect in a bank robbery that happened earlier today. Let's go to Osage Sky News 6 HD in that area. This is in the 65th West Avenue area, that general vicinity. You can see that's the suspect vehicle right there, that black SUV that Osage Sky News 6 is giving us a shot of right now. Tulsa police officers are there en masse right now following that vehicle. They found it, and they're trying to get that person to pull over. It's a somewhat rural area, although there are a number of homes, as you can tell, so not a very crowded road, which is a good thing as far as safety is concerned, but that car has been on some busy roads. This all started just before 2 o'clock this afternoon. The Commerce Bank at Utica Square was robbed, and then this pursuit started just a few minutes ago. Osage Sky News 6 got up in there. Look at him. He's cutting that corner there. And Tulsa police officers are following him. Again, the fortunate thing is not a lot of people on the road in that particular area, although the unfortunate thing is it is a residential area, as you can tell by all of those homes. So still a dangerous situation. Now, we have not seen this vehicle up to excessive speeds at this point, so not necessarily a high-speed chase, but definitely a pursuit in progress right now involving dozens of Tulsa police officers. Again, this is in the 65th West Avenue area of Tulsa. It's a little difficult to tell exactly which roads they turn on, but if you're familiar with that area, you can get a better idea of the exact location. But it's been weaving in and out of residential areas now on a fairly busy road. You can see cars pulling over. That was a Tulsa police officer pulling over in a pickup. Now that car is speeding up at this moment, trying to get those officers. We understand police officers did throw down stop sticks earlier near 33rd West Avenue and Southwest Boulevard. Obviously, that driver has avoided that area and is now leading officers on that high-speed chase. Again, this is live breaking news. We are on the scene, on the story. You're looking at a live picture from Osage Sky News 6 HD. That bank robbery suspect in that black SUV. Police officers spotted him just about 10 minutes ago, and that pursuit began. We're going to stay with this for a little while to see what happens. Obviously, he's speeding up at this point, but officers are all over that area. Typically, they will set up a perimeter around that area and try to box a driver in. And that's certainly, we've seen a number of Tulsa police officers who have been in that area trying to get this bank robbery suspect to pull over. Trying to get a better location of where, he's pulling out. He's pulling off into a field right now. Tulsa police officers are in the area following him. Let's see if he gets back on the road. Looks like that's what he's going to do. Oftentimes, police officers will do a pit maneuver, which is basically they'll bump the back of that car and force them to spin out and off the road. But obviously, that's going to be something that's incredibly difficult to do right now just because of the homes in that area. The last thing they want to do is do a pit maneuver, cause that driver to lose control, and then he perhaps drives up into somebody's yard or collides with a home. So they're going to obviously exercise great caution in that regard. Again, this is a bank robbery suspect. The Commerce Bank at Utica Square was robbed at about just before 2 o'clock. You're looking at live pictures from Osage Sky News 6 HD. Adam, if you can relay that road to me, I'm having difficulty hearing you in my ear. So if somebody can just give me the details on this location, if we've got a better location. Okay, this is at Francoma Road approaching 81st right now to give you a better idea of the location. Francoma Road approaching 81st. Obviously, potentially a very dangerous situation. We've seen this driver go at speeds in excess of the speed limit, but at other moments during this pursuit has not driven incredibly fast or recklessly. Obviously, speeding up now, so that's always the potential.
Okay,
this is at 81st approaching Interstate 44 at this moment. Other drivers, you can see some of those trucks that have pulled over to the side, driving slowly, trying to get out of the way.
81st approaching I-44.
Okay, 81st approaching Interstate 44. And he's going east on 81st at this moment. Again, Tulsa police will try to do a pit maneuver if it's safe. That right now it looks like they're just going to follow him at this point, try to box him in, get him to slow down. Look, you've got a police officer there. Let's see what happened. Okay, that's over 66 right now. Avoided stop sticks in that area. And you can see a number of Tulsa police officers who are in that area trying to get this guy corralled. A bank robbery suspect from the Commerce Bank at Utica Square. That robbery happened just before 2 o'clock this afternoon. And then about 15 minutes ago, they spotted this suspect vehicle, that black SUV it's got paper tags. We don't know if it's a stolen vehicle, but that initiated this pursuit. Thankfully, many of the drivers are seeing this coming. This looks like Highway 66. That's New Sapulpa Road, though, so that's a little bit problematic because obviously New Sapulpa Road has a number of businesses on that corridor and obviously a lot more traffic in that area, which elevates the seriousness and the danger of this pursuit. He's going about 65 miles per hour right now, and Tulsa police officers are following him and trying to box him in that area. So far has gone off the road just a time or two, got back on the road. We thought maybe just a moment ago we got into a field, maybe that would be the end of this chase, but that was not the case as he got back on the area. He's avoiding many of the stop sticks that have been placed down by Tulsa police officers. And this is again New Sapulpa Road, a bank robbery suspect from the Commerce Bank in Utica Square that was robbed at about 2 o'clock this afternoon. You're looking at images, live images right now from Osage Sky News 6 HD. We also have crews we want to let you know that are trying to get position on the ground. Obviously, that's very difficult to do because it's a very unpredictable situation. He's passing Mark Allen GMC in Sapulpa at this moment. And as you can see there, OHP is taking the lead now in that chase. And again, they will try to do a pit maneuver if the conditions are safe, which basically they'll bump. You can see the road signs there. They'll try to bump that vehicle, cause it to spin out, and then end up safely stopping. He's getting up on Interstate 44 and looks like he's speeding up right now as he gets onto the highway, and the Oklahoma Highway Patrol trooper is getting a little bit closer.
Oh, they're going to try.
They're going to try that. Looks like that pit maneuver. There it is, right there. Okay, caused him to spin out and then obviously overturn, and a number of police officers and state troopers are there right now with their guns drawn, approaching that vehicle. They're approaching it very carefully, obviously. They will check to see if that driver is okay, but the main concern right now is that potentially he might have a weapon, and they are obviously being extremely careful right now. This is again live video from Osage Sky News 6 HD. They have their guns drawn and approaching that suspect from that bank robbery at the Commerce Bank at Utica Square. State troopers took over this pursuit just a little bit ago, and they obviously go through significant training on how to handle this. They have a canine officer there, officers en masse, obviously, and they are checking in to check on the condition of that driver right now.
Just east of the Turnpike Gate.
And this is I-44 just west of the Turnpike Gate. We're just going to let you watch some of these images right now, and they're 57th and I-44 in Tulsa. Okay, they're giving me information right now. It's blocking Interstate 44 where?
At the Quick Trip.
At the Quick Trip. Okay, just everybody in the control room, let you know I'm getting much better audio in my earpiece, so you can pass along any details that you get now. Obviously, during a situation like this, we've got people manning the phones. We've got people in our control room working this breaking news on the scene, on the story situation. Osage Sky News 6 HD is up in the air as well. Just a little bit ago, if you're just joining us, the Oklahoma Highway Patrol took over this pursuit. They did a pit maneuver, which is essentially just bumping the back of that vehicle and forcing it to spin out. It did spin out, then it overturned, and officers converged on this location near 57th Street and Interstate 44 in Tulsa. If you know anybody that's about to travel in this area, you obviously want to give them a call and let them know to avoid this area right now. The driver is pinned in that wreckage at this moment. They're going to work to get him out. I don't believe at this point that there was anybody else that was on the scene. Okay, they did get the guy out. I can see it now. We got a better shot from Osage Sky News 6. They're obviously putting him in handcuffs. But officers are also looking in there, so there might potentially have been somebody else in that vehicle. So we're trying to confirm that and gather more information for you, and we will pass that along to you as soon as we get it. But this is a chase that started shortly after a bank robbery, again, at the Commerce Bank at Utica Square. It happened at about 2 o'clock this afternoon. Now, what are we, about 2:47 now, so roughly 45 minutes later, we do have a suspect in custody. Officers spotted this black SUV with a paper tag that was a suspect getaway vehicle after that bank robbery. That prompted a police pursuit by Tulsa police officers. They boxed off an area where they thought this car was located, kind of lost him. They found him again. He went off the road into a grassy area, and we had hoped that that's where he would have stopped this pursuit and could have ended it without any injuries. However, he got back up on the highway, got on New Sapulpa Road, went down New Sapulpa Road, then got on Interstate 44, and that's when the state trooper took over, did the pit maneuver successfully, causing that driver to lose control and overturn. And it's important to note that that pit maneuver was done without injuring any other driver. So we're very thankful of that, because that obviously is a very, very busy area. Okay, we're going to go back. This is video as I described that pit maneuver. This is the pit maneuver that we caught on camera with Osage Sky News 6 HD. You can see the state trooper initiating that maneuver, causing the driver to lose control, and then the vehicle overturned. They do have one suspect in handcuffs outside of that vehicle. We don't know if anybody else was inside, but just a moment ago we did see a couple of officers still peering in some of the other windows, so I don't know. It's hard to tell, at least from our vantage point, if that potentially means that there's some other folks that are inside that car that are trapped inside the car and will need medical attention. But obviously, take a look at that. The number of police officers involved with this. Wow. I mean, more than a dozen police officers, and that's just right there on the interstate on I-44. Obviously, that road is shut down right now as they work this breaking news, as they work this ongoing situation. Again, the good news is no other driver was injured in this pursuit on such a very busy highway. That is one reason we can count our blessings on this situation. Police are still around that vehicle. They approached it very, very cautiously, as you would imagine. Right after that pit maneuver, officers were right there on the spot, and they, of course, drew their weapons and approached that vehicle very, very cautiously to make sure that anyone inside was not armed or posed a threat to them. And then shortly thereafter, within a few minutes, got to one person out of that vehicle. They were in handcuffs laying on the pavement there for just a little bit. I'm not sure if we can zoom in just a little bit from Osage Sky News 6 HD. You can see they're still very cautious in that area right now. So it looks like one officer or first responder is kind of looking through one of the windows. So that could be an indication that there are others inside that vehicle, but we just don't know. So we're going to stay with this breaking news. Again, this is near 57th and Interstate 44 right now, just off of New Sapulpa Road in Sapulpa. State troopers and Tulsa police are on the scene right now. This started at about 2 o'clock this afternoon, shortly before 2, as a bank robbery at the Commerce Bank at Utica Square. Then within a few minutes, Tulsa police saw this vehicle, a black SUV with paper tags, and that pursuit began. Then at one point or another, we understand that we thought that the driver had ditched the vehicle and got out. That doesn't appear to be the case now. But they pursued that vehicle, put down stop sticks in a number of areas, and that driver continued to avoid those stop sticks. And again, here's that pit maneuver as state troopers took over, pushing that SUV. It hits the retaining wall, the center divider, and then overturns. And that was from Osage Sky News 6 HD, about 10 minutes ago. And so, as you can see, Tulsa police officers were right there on the spot. As soon as that happened, the state trooper, Tulsa police officers all drew their weapons and approached that vehicle very, very cautiously. And then were able to look inside to get that person out of the wreckage of that vehicle and get emergency crews there. This is Interstate 44. Obviously, that area right there by New Sapulpa Road is going to be closed for some time as they look inside that vehicle and clear the wreckage. Obviously, Tulsa firefighters, paramedics, Tulsa police officers, state troopers are all on the scene right now. Osage Sky News 6 HD is in the air right now. You're looking at a live picture. And again, officers are still crowded around that vehicle. We did see one person that was pulled out and placed in handcuffs. I don't see that person now, so I'm just under the assumption that that person was loaded into a police car or an ambulance, probably an ambulance, to be checked out. That's typically the case. And then they're still looking inside that vehicle, so I don't know if that is an indication of other people inside that vehicle at this moment. Again, we have ground crews as well headed in that direction. It's been difficult to know exactly where to send them because this was obviously a changing situation. But now that we know that location, we do have crews on the way. As soon as they get there, they will gather more information, and we will have updates on our News on 6 app and on News on 6 at 5 and 6. And of course, we will break into our programming to bring you the latest on this breaking news information. Again, a police pursuit that ended with a pit maneuver, a bank robbery suspect in custody. We will have more details as they become available.